Welcome back to Soil Stories, where we dig beneath the surface and let the soil do the talking. Today I want to share a simple, often forgotten gardening trick that looks almost too basic to work, but once you understand what's happening underground, it makes perfect sense. Aluminum foil, yes, the same foil in your kitchen, can dramatically improve root growth when used the right way. Not as magic, not as fertilizer, but as a powerful environmental tool that helps roots do what they naturally want to do. Grow fast, deep, and strong. Most gardeners focus on what they add to the soil: compost, manure, fertilizers, while forgetting the conditions that control root behavior. Roots respond more to temperature, moisture balance, and oxygen availability than to nutrients alone. That's where aluminum foil quietly steps in. Why root growth is the real secret to thriving plants. Before we get into foil, let's talk roots. Healthy roots are not just anchors, they are the plant's brain and stomach combined. So, strong root systems mean better nutrient uptake, improved drought resistance, stronger stems, and, higher yields. Weak roots, no matter how good the fertilizer, always lead to weak plants. Roots grow fastest when the soil stays evenly moist, moderately warm, and well aerated. The problem is that garden soil rarely stays in that sweet spot. Sun overheats containers and raised beds, moisture evaporates too quickly, temperature swings shock young roots. These stresses slow root expansion, sometimes stopping it altogether. This is exactly the problem aluminum foil helps solve. The real power of aluminum foil in the garden, well, it works not because it feeds plants, but because it reflects heat and light while stabilizing the soil environment. When placed correctly, foil redirects excess heat away from the root zone during hot days and reduces moisture loss from evaporation. In cooler periods, it helps retain gentle warmth by preventing rapid temperature drops. Roots love stability. When soil temperatures fluctuate less, roots spend less energy on survival and more energy on growth. This is why gardeners who use foil correctly often notice explosive root development within a short time. Another overlooked benefit is light reflection. Aluminum foil reflects sunlight back toward the lower parts of the plant. This boosts photosynthesis without increasing leaf temperature, which indirectly fuels root expansion because stronger top growth feeds the roots with more sugars. The most effective way to use aluminum foil for root growth. The biggest mistake gardeners make is burying aluminum foil directly into the soil. That's not how this trick works, and it can actually interfere with drainage if done incorrectly. The real power comes from using foil as a surface and barrier tool. For container plants, line the outside of dark plastic pots with aluminum foil, shiny side facing outward. This prevents the sun from overheating the pot walls. Overheated pots are silent root killers, especially for tomatoes, peppers, herbs, and seedlings. When the pot stays cooler, roots grow faster and remain active throughout the day instead of shutting down under heat stress. In raised beds, aluminum foil can be placed beneath mulch, not directly touching the soil surface. The foil reflects excess heat upward during intense sun, while the mulch above it regulates moisture. For seed trays and nursery beds, placing aluminum foil beneath the trays reflects heat evenly and prevents cold shock from concrete or cold ground surfaces. Seedlings grown this way often develop thicker, more fibrous root systems early on. Watering problems are, honestly, one of the biggest root growth blockers. Soil that dries too fast forces roots to stay shallow. Aluminum foil reduces evaporation by reflecting sunlight and limiting heat buildup. When soil moisture lasts longer, roots are encouraged to grow deeper instead of staying near the surface. Deeper roots mean stronger plants that are less dependent on frequent watering. This is especially powerful for gardeners dealing with water shortages or intense sun. You'll notice that plants grown with better moisture balance recover faster from heat stress and show less wilting, even on hot afternoons. This doesn't mean watering less overall, it means watering smarter. The foil simply ensures the water you apply stays where roots can use it. Soil temperature is honestly one of the most overlooked factors in gardening. Roots actually stop growing when soil is either too hot or too cold. Aluminum foil, interestingly enough, acts like a temperature buffer. On those hot days it reflects radiant heat, and then during those cooler nights, it really slows down heat loss. This is especially useful during early planting seasons or when the weather is just, well, unpredictable. Gardeners often wonder why their plants stall even when all the nutrients are there. The answer is usually temperature stress happening right below the surface. When foil is used strategically, root activity can keep going while other plants might struggle. In soil stories, we always like to emphasize working with nature instead of fighting against it. Aluminum foil doesn't force growth. It simply removes unnecessary stress so plants can do what they're naturally designed to do. Which plants benefit the most from this trick? Well, while almost all plants benefit from improved root conditions, some show really dramatic results. Tomatoes, for instance, respond quickly with thicker stems and faster leaf expansion. Peppers develop denser root balls and set fruit earlier. Herbs like basil and coriander stay lush longer because their roots remain cool and active. Root-sensitive plants such as lettuce, spinach, and strawberries also benefit greatly. These plants often bolt or slow down when roots overheat. With foil-assisted temperature control, they stay productive longer into those warm seasons. Even houseplants can benefit when pots are exposed to direct sunlight near windows. Foil-lined containers prevent root cooking while still allowing bright light for foliage. Let's talk about common mistakes to avoid. Honestly, the most important thing is moderation. Aluminum foil should never suffocate soil or block drainage. It is not meant to wrap soil tightly or replace mulch entirely. Always allow airflow and water movement, that's key. Avoid mixing foil pieces directly into soil beds because over time, this can interfere with soil structure. The goal here is reflection and insulation, not soil amendment. Why do most gardeners forget this trick? The reason is actually pretty simple. It doesn't look natural. Gardeners are trained to think compost, manure, and fertilizers. Environmental control techniques just don't get as much attention, even though they often make the biggest difference. Aluminum foil is inexpensive, accessible, and incredibly effective when used with intention. It's not flashy, but the results speak through healthier roots, stronger plants, and better harvests. Gardening success is built from understanding what plants experience underground. When roots are comfortable, everything above the soil improves automatically. Aluminum foil, used wisely, gives you a powerful edge by creating the stable conditions roots crave. If this tip opened your eyes, or made you look at your garden differently, that's exactly what Soil Stories is all about. Learning from the soil and growing smarter, not harder. If you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe to the Soil Stories channel. Share this with a fellow gardener and keep growing with us. The soil always has more stories to tell, and we're just getting started.